It is. Okay, if it's so real, wait. If it's so real, how come it couldn't warn you that I wasn't shit in the beginning?
Comedian checks woman for saying women's intuition is real. Women's intuition explained. Welcome to Manosphere Highlights Daily. When it comes to comedy, the best humor is usually both a little bit right and a little bit wrong. There is always truth in it, and we're gonna focus on these truths presented by comedian Vincent B Bryant. Now it's time for us to get into this and do what we have to do, because we men, ain't we? We men, ain't we?
Yeah, it's just like I ain't in the best. I got cheated on. That's what it is. I was like that too, and I seen a dude. I was like, oh, okay. Made sense. He was tall. He played football. He was an engineer. I was like, oh, you cheated on me with the man I want to be in life. Like, why would you gonna cheat on me with the man of my dreams? Why would you do? You trying to hurt me?
It's funny that he says, why do you cheat with the man that I want to be in life? Because he can't go to the gym and grow taller. You can't squat 100 times a day and grow longer legs. But you can go to the gym and burn calories. So there is a difference between men and women when it comes to superficiality. You can do something about your weight, not much about your height.
I asked her why she did it. I was like, why would you cheat on me? She's like, I felt like you was cheating on me. I was like, what do you mean you felt like? She's like, I just felt like, like women's intuition was telling me that you cheated on me. I was like, bullshit. Because women's intuition ain't real.
Well, we had to do some research to know a little bit more about women's intuition. And one of the articles we found has this as the title: Science confirms women's intuition is a real thing. Now, before we get into the articles, let's see why Vincent B Bryant calls bullshit.
It's fake. It is. Okay, if it's so real, if it's so real, how come it couldn't warn you that I wasn't shit in the beginning?
Exactly. Women's intuition. Let's get into it before we go into the foolishness of cheating on your boyfriend because you felt he was cheating on you. Science confirms women's intuition is a real thing. Science has finally proven what we have long thought. Women are better than men at reading people's emotions. And we can't pull off this magic trick just by looking at people's eyes. Researchers from around the world tested if there were genetic variants associated with cognitive empathy. That is our ability to be able to understand another person's emotional state just at a glance. Emotional state, okay? Check this out. Sadness, happiness, fear, anger, surprise, disgust. Reading someone's emotional state does not mean you can determine that someone is cheating on you. Let's read. For the study, 90,000 people were shown different photographs of people's eyes. They were then asked to say what they thought that person's mood was. The results? Women consistently outperformed men. And that's not a coincidence because women are social creatures. Women have the tendency to work in social fields. They love to work with people. Let's read this article from Psychology Today that takes this a step further. Let's read. Where does this ability to read emotions come from? It has been suggested that it's mainly due to social power. Women who have been historically lower in social power spend more time observing and scrutinizing those in power, i.e. men and powerful women, and become more attuned to their nonverbal cues. It has also been suggested that evolutionary elements have been involved, selecting females who have a better ability to decode the needs of children and potential mates. So this is an ability, this is a skill, and women have developed this skill from childhood. Let's read. Remember that sex differences, such as skill in communicating emotions, are group-based, and that there are plenty of men who are skilled at reading others' emotions. Moreover, there is evidence that people can improve their nonverbal communication skills, particularly their ability to read and send emotional messages. So women's intuition is basically their ability to read people's emotions, the ability to know in what mood a person is, not the ability to know if someone is cheating on her or if a man ain't shit. She might feel that something is off, but that does not mean your man is cheating on you. And that brings me to the story of women cheating on their boyfriends because they thought their boyfriends were cheating on them. It's a real thing. We looked for it on Google and we found many stories, and we're gonna highlight this particular story because it shows the stupidity of taking this woman's intuition as facts. Let's read. I cheated on my boyfriend when I thought he'd been unfaithful, only to find out he was planning to propose. When I suspected my boyfriend of cheating, I took it as a free pass to be unfaithful to him in return. As it turns out, he was actually just hiding his plans to propose to me. Oops. 1. He'd been acting secretive, but not for the reason I suspected. Call me paranoid, but when your boyfriend starts hanging up the phone really fast when you walk into a room and not coming home from work at the usual time, you start to wonder what the deal is. I had no idea he was planning an elaborate proposal. My mind instantly went to the worst case scenario and I convinced myself he must be sleeping with someone else. I agree that you can feel that something is off. I agree that women are probably better at reading emotions. This is what they do. This is what they do. They have to know what's going on. That's why they love social media, because they can check everything out. Don't be surprised. Your ex-girlfriends are probably keeping a tab on you. They need to know what you're doing. They need to know if they made the right choice. But she says, I convinced myself that he must be sleeping with someone else. That's all you. If this is the way you think, you have no business being a girlfriend. Let's continue. Number 2, we hadn't even talked about marriage. So a proposal was the last thing I expected. Maybe if the subject of marriage had been mentioned, I wouldn't have been so quick to jump to conclusions. But we hadn't been together that long and I wasn't ready to get engaged. So I figured he must not be either. I assumed he was getting a little bored. As it turned out, he was ready for the ultimate form of commitment. This is what we're talking about when we talk about low quality women. She immediately assumes the worst from her boyfriend. Maybe he was planning a surprise birthday party. Maybe he got a promotion at work and was planning to surprise you with a vacation to celebrate. You don't have the right mindset to be a girlfriend. Let's read. Number 3, I dealt with my sense of betrayal by sleeping with someone. Someone? It's rarely just someone. If your girlfriend cheats on you, chances are high that you know who it is, or you've heard about him before. Let's continue. I was so angry and heartbroken that I never thought to question my certainty of his infidelity. I felt humiliated by the fact that he had supposedly kept it a secret from me. So instead of confronting him about it, I made up my mind to hurt him equally as badly by sleeping with someone too. The foolishness. This is all in her head. This has everything to do with her own insecurities and the lack of value that she places on herself. Many women don't understand that the reason that the value of punani has dropped like an airplane is because of their own doing. Women are the gatekeepers of sex and they open their punani gates for nothing. And that's exactly why she had sex with quote unquote someone. Because she knows she has no value to offer her man. He has every reason not to commit to this low quality female. Even if the guy was cheating on you, this does not make you any better. Women are supposed to be our better halves, right? It's hard to take women seriously in modern society. Let's continue. Number 4. It was yet another reminder that playing games rather than being an adult will always come back to bite you. It's so easy to look back at the whole thing and realize that if I simply asked, "Are you cheating on me?" there would never been this much drama and mutual pain. I thought I was evening the score by sleeping with someone else, but really I was just being childish. Relationships should always have open communication, especially when something seems off. This is why I believe that only specific people should be allowed to vote or should be allowed to be mothers and fathers. You cannot make certain decisions based on how you feel. She thought she was evening the score based on what? Substantiate your equalizing the score theory by having sex with someone else with no evidence that your boyfriend is cheating on you. This is ridiculous! Let's continue. The fact that I was so quick to mistrust him says a lot about our relationship. It may seem crazy that I jumped to conclusions about him so quickly, but it actually made a lot of sense given the rest of our relationship. I never felt like he was totally open with me about anything. It always seemed like he was holding something back. This made me really insecure, and while it may just have been his personality, it always left me wondering how he really felt about me. No, it does not make sense. You had no evidence. You didn't try to make the most of it before you jumped to conclusions. And you didn't just quickly jump to conclusions, you also jumped quickly on another man's dick. There are many other things that you can do, but no! This was the only way. Number 6, he should have at least mentioned that he wanted to marry me before dropping a ring in my lap. No, we're not gonna do that. Stay on topic. This is your fault. He could be planning a surprise vacation. You're the one that's cooking up worst case scenarios. Let's continue. In this day and age, marriage should be an ongoing topic of conversation before someone proposes. I would expect any future husband of mine to give me the courtesy of asking how I feel about marriage and when I might want it to happen, if ever. The proposal is just a formality that I could honestly do without. Fuck out of here! Number 7, I don't want to be in a relationship with a guy who shares so little of his thoughts with me. Some guys and women can be a little emotionally detached, but they should at least put in the effort to getting better and opening up to the person they're with. My ex didn't seem to think that was a problem. I always felt like he was off in his own little world that I couldn't be a part of, and that made it a lot easier for me to believe he was hiding something hurtful. You need therapy. This is not about the guy. This is all about you. There are many ways you can feel insecure in a relationship. Does that mean you're gonna jump on another man's dick as a solution? You had sex with another man because you wanted to have sex with another man. You were just looking for an excuse. 8. In hindsight, I think I intentionally sabotaged our relationship. I was so quick to retaliate by sleeping with someone else that it can't just be rationalized as revenge for an unfounded suspicion of infidelity. I felt lonely in the relationship and had been looking for ways to fill the space for a long time. When I thought he'd been unfaithful, I was more than ready to use it as a way to blow up the relationship. Here you go. They will always tell on themselves. A lot of women already found Mr. Right. Some women are so used to dysfunction that they don't understand peace. When everything is going well, something is wrong. Something is off. The sisterhood is always complaining about men, but your man is actually doing everything right. And like I said before, a good man can make a woman feel bad because she is not a good woman. A bad boy can make her feel better about herself because he takes away the pressure of being a good woman. That quote-unquote someone she was smashing was aware that she had a boyfriend. She didn't lie to him. The only thing she needed was plausible deniability, so she could go ahead and do what she wanted to do for a long time. Number 9, if you can't trust the person you're dating, you need to be single. At the end of the day, I just didn't trust him. Even if he hadn't been secretive about the proposal, there would have been other things to make me suspicious and insecure down the line. He wasn't open with me, and that made me feel like I wasn't important in his life. If you can't trust the person you're with and feel emotionally safe with them, you shouldn't be in the relationship. Number 10, I still haven't forgiven myself. No matter how many things my ex could have done differently, the fact remains that I cheated on him. Even if he had been cheating, it wouldn't have been an excuse for me to sleep with someone else. I feel terrible about how the relationship ended, even though I know I deserved better. Since we broke up, I've learned to be a lot more careful about assumptions and choosing who to date. Girl, take responsibility and get the F out of here, please. When these women talk about deserving better, they have no clue what the meaning of deserve means. Deserve means to have earned or to be given something because of the way you have behaved or the qualities you have. And based on your story, you don't deserve shit. Using women's intuition to determine if someone is cheating on you, and then using cheating yourself as an excuse to get back at your partner without evidence is foolishness and bullshit. Manosphere, we working. Protect yourself at all times. This video has officially been highlighted.